Okay, so I talked previously about the what on my what I consider to be a fantastic SHTF rifle. So just to recap, budget rifle. What to recap? When I say budget, I'm really talking about gear that I think falls into a lower price point, but otherwise has a lot of value, a lot of durability, a lot of longevity, and enough capability for the money that you're spending. It gets you a certain level of capability, and I think it reaches a certain minimal threshold. So again, what am I talking about with SHTF? A lot of it being either a bump in the night problem around your home or in your home or around your home, or things that are going on at a very regional level. Something like a tornado or a earthquake, hurricane, wildfire, maybe not that. But anyway, so from there, the next part, what I'm going to jump into is the whys on a lot of the things that go into this rifle. I hope to keep this within a certain time frame. So right off the bat, what I want to focus on, I already talked about the stock and why I think it's important to have an adjustable stock. And I don't think it's important to switch this out if you are looking to have a budget build. Um, the grip on this, I think it's a standard A2 grip. I think is fine, other than I cut and filed down the little nub on there. The rifle itself is a Palmetto State Armory build. It is just a upper and lower combined. So then you have to ask, is that really the direction, the best direction to go? And honestly, I'm going to say no. I have spent enough time on multiple Palmetto State Armory rifles. Some things that right off the bat I think need to be changed. This will come with a 2.7 ounce buffer. That buffer is a piece of crap, and it got switched out for a standard carbine weight buffer. And why does that matter? Because if you don't have strong springs, if you don't have long lasting springs, if you don't have the right buffer weights, depending on what ammunition you are running and what your gas port size is, you can get unreliable feeding of the rifle, and absolutely above everything you need to have reliable feeding. That is your number one. Before accuracy, before anything else, you need to have, weight, price, anything else. You need to have reliability. If it's not reliable, it's not worth having. So, also, when you start to open up the rifle and start to look at a Palmetto State Armory bolt, would I recommend a Palmetto State Armory bolt? No, I really wouldn't. But if you're part of that is because the springs on the extractor are extremely weak. They're very low quality. And I replaced the springs there and got all that working right. So then from there, I'm going to say if Palmetto State Armory is cheaping out on things that I can easily identify and find, then what else are they cheaping out on? Is this really a long lasting, good quality gun? And are you really able to just buy it off the shelf, throw it together, and go run it and use it and trust your life to it? And my answer is no. Um, as of September 2024, there is a Sons of Liberty Gunworks rifle that looks exactly like what you're seeing here, minus the lights, minus the sights, things like that. But otherwise the basic front sight post, handguard, receiver, stock, hand grip, everything else looks the same. I forget if it had a phosphated barrel or a nitride barrel. I honestly don't remember. And so that would be a much better option, but that base rifle costs $750, whereas minus the mags, everything here costs between $650 and $700. Look, there's a lot of people on different sorts of budgets, and even with the fixes that I detected and put into place on this PSA, yeah, it still comes in with a certain price point. I respect that. So I respect people's lives, people's needs. There's a Midwest Industries combat site, and I'm going to tell you, there's going to be a lot of people who say, I want to go with a red dot site for different reasons. And I'm going to just straight up tell you my experience running around in real life situations, up and down hills, hunting, chasing problem critters, and the experience that others have shared with me at One Shepherd, if you've heard of that, if you know of Brent 0331 or Dr. Larson, they both work a lot with the One Shepherd School, Leadership School, get to run around, do a lot of work. The short version is a $100 to $150 red dot site does not stand up in durability or longevity. So, and then I've also had a lot of problems with batteries dying, with light transmission when using in low light conditions, in addition to the sites themselves just dying and quitting, or shearing off on their mounts, things like that. So I'm really going to tell you that from a low maintenance, longevity, durability, buy it and don't worry too much about it standpoint, the irons are really, really where it's at. And this Midwest Industries combat site, you don't adjust it at all for elevation. You adjust your front sight for elevation and then leave it. You adjust your rear sight for windage and pretty much leave it. I love it because it sits flush on both sides. I think that is extremely important when you're carrying this thing over hill and dale. So then from there, I sight this in at either 200 or 250 yards. I would pick one or the other. And that's not, I'm going to run a 50-yard zero and then know that it's sighted in at 200 yards. Absolutely not. My experience is if you sight in at 50, you can be off by as much as 12 inches at 200 yards. And so whenever possible, absolutely you need to be running if you're going to take my advice and run a 200-yard zero or 250-yard zero, confirm at your far distance. Otherwise, running a 100-yard zero is really a fantastic option. It's going to be very usable. And that's based on just putting a lot of lead into a lot of meat. And a lot of people like that 36 or the 25-yard zeros. You have a lot of, it's fine for when you're shooting at an 18 by 24 inch target that's brightly painted. It is a lot more difficult to hit a real world target if your ballistic trajectory is more of a rainbow. You really want that to be as flat as possible. So that 100-yard zero is pretty good. The 200-yard zero is better given the flight path, or a 250-yard zero is really, really good as well, given the flight path on this. The light mount is an LZ light mount. They don't seem to melt the plastic. Everything seems to be real good. The light is a Streamlight Polytac. It has been holding up. It'll get you out to at least 50 yards under most circumstances. I think I talked about the magazines. I really think that you need to be able to know aluminum mags can get their feed lips damaged. If a plastic mag ever has its feed lips damaged, you know about it because it's shattered. So I think that's really important to always run the Magpul mags and know if your equipment is in great condition or not. So take care.